Hey guys, what's up? FordTechMakuloco here. Today we're going to show you a good real-world example of why you want to maintain and wash and take care of your vehicle if you live in the northern climates, in the Salt Belt of America, on the East Coast, any of those areas, because the rock salt and the brine that they're using nowadays is going to just eat away at your investment and make the vehicle unsafe, unsound. Now, his first vehicle right here is a 06 F-150, 170,000 miles on it, and the customer took care of it. This has no issues underneath here. Doesn't look pretty, but there's no issues. The second vehicle is an 07 F-150, right around 160, 170,000 miles, and the vehicle is just disintegrated underneath. You'll see it. It's actually structurally unsound. There's a lot of safety concerns underneath there, and in the end, it costs the customer thousands of dollars to bring it up to the point where it was roadworthy once again. So let's go look at these real quick, and we'll show you exactly why you want to get to the car wash sooner than later. All right, here we go. The first vehicle here is a 2006 F-150 with 170,000 miles on it. The customer does take care of it, washes it, maintains it through the winter, but it does live in the Salt Belt of America, so we're going to get this surface rust underneath here no matter what, all the way along. What we're looking for is structural and safety concerns that you won't see on here because they maintained it, whereas the second vehicle I'm going to show you has all kinds of structural and safety concerns that make it not roadworthy. But also, it's a huge repair bill just waiting to happen, accident waiting to happen too. So we're just gonna gloss over this one front to back, and then you can kind of compare these images to the other vehicle that was not maintained and how much damage there is underneath. So we're gonna start off over here, the coil springs. You can see their original strut on here. These are common to pop and crack the springs on there from corrosion. You can check the knuckle out, regular surface rust on there, no big deal. It's not flaking and building up on there. Come along. Again, surface rust on here from everything pelting it. The power steering lines are intact. Usually these rot away and start leaking power steering fluid. And then the power steering pumps, they usually get so bad, it looks like they just start flaking and coming apart on there like they've been in the bottom of the ocean for on a lot of these. Over here on the front cover here, nothing to really talk about. On here, the cross member, the first cross member, regular surface rust, no big deal. Oil pan is intact on here. Sway bar, compare this one to the next one, you'll see what I'm talking about. And then we're gonna start looking at the frame all the way along. You see the E-coat on here works pretty well. You know, little pops of surface rust, of course, the weld points are gonna have rust on them. It's nothing structurally sound, just doesn't look pretty, okay? See it all the way across here? All these different areas, okay? And then there's another area over here on the passenger side, is a reinforcement right here, and you can see this one is all intact on here. These get water behind them and salt, and then they start popping and rotting away the actual frame and the reinforcement. It gets really bad. So just take a look at the exhaust on here. Pretty basic, nothing's coming apart on here. And look at the frame on here. I mean, it looks really good. Weld points are rusting, no big deal. Nothing is structural underneath there. On the outside, of course, it's gonna get hit a little bit more. On the outside, drive shafts, some of these can get real crusty. This one you can see, not so bad. Again, over here, take a look at all this over here. You're gonna really pay attention to this part on the other vehicle. You see how this part is all intact, beautiful. This is what I usually see, especially when vehicles come in for these timing jobs and all that, they're maintained. Now you start getting back here, and of course everything just kind of gets pelted back here. But again, it's all surface rust, no big deal, especially in the axle back here. You look up here, you'll see how bad it is on the other vehicle compared to this one. Straps, these are intact, no problems. Take a look over here, make a note of this. You'll see what I'm talking about in the next one. And then you see it frame all the way down. Real basic rust points on here, nothing to be concerned about at all, okay? Take a look at the bed, back here in the reinforcements, leaf spring mounts, no concerns at all, okay? Nothing, no problems on the hitch, all surface rust, and the same thing over here. The other thing I want you to take a look at is, where'd it go? Is up here. The crimp point for the brake hose for the rear axle on here. This one has surface rust, doesn't look pretty, but definitely isn't a safety concern. Now, let's go over to the 07 F-150 and compare it to this one, and you'll see exactly how bad it is. All right, so starting off here in the front, you can see the usual corrosion on the frame here. It's all basically surface rust. No big deal for the Midwest here, it's pretty common. Over here you can see the struts that usually break, the coils on them. Those were definitely replaced. At one point in time, these are aftermarkets. Those rotted right on through. And we're actually changing a power steering line on this one. They usually rot pretty bad as they go up and over to the rack over there. And look at that power steering pump up there too. Right there, you can see it. Yeah, that looks like it came from the bottom of the ocean. So the rest of this doesn't look too bad. We start heading back here though, and it just starts to get worse. Original starter. You can see the cross members, they're really taking a beating on here, and they're just starting to rot pretty bad. Even the sway bar, which usually doesn't have a problem, it's definitely pretty bad. And up and over here, there's a reinforcement right here, and I see those pop a lot of times. This one's popping on the outside, nothing too bad. And on the outside here, yeah, it's abnormal. Usually it's nice black paint on here, no problem. The E-coat on here actually lasts. Same thing on this side, not so bad. This is how it usually looks, just a little bit of surface rust. But the further you go back from this cross member on back, you can see it changes dramatically, right? On both sides. Wow, yeah, it changes dramatically on here. So again, we're popping paint over here. Nothing to cry about, no big deal. Welds seem to be intact. Exhaust didn't fall off yet. But look at the straps and the tanks here. Usually they're not a problem on the newer vehicles, on the newer F-150s, whereas the old ones, of course, they had a recall and they break and all that stuff. But look at the frame on this side. From the cross member on back, you can see the shield here. I mean, it's just gone. And then look at this right here. Yeah. I mean, it's totally gone and separated. Look how bad that is right there. All the way behind the tank until it curves up. I touched this earlier, and the whole section of it just fell back inside of there. I mean, it's gone. You know, it's not structurally sound anymore. Look at that. So this fully boxed frame has now turned into the old-fashioned C-channel. You can see this side is still intact. Comes down this side, comes down over on the top. It's basically a C-channel now, so yeah. This just goes to show this is not common at all on the newer F-150s with the E-coat on there on 2004 newer vehicles. This one was just let go. I mean, look at that. And then further back here, usual, even on the differential here, not so bad. Frame doesn't look too good back here, neither does the bed. Look at that right there. I feel like I'm looking at an early 90s vehicle. Look at those two faces right there. Even there, even the frame is just, you know, they're like, wow, this is pretty bad. They're like shocked. So, oh, and back here also, again, it's something you see in the early 90s vehicles. The crimp around the brake line right here for the brake hose, where it goes in here, you can see the E-coat on here. The epoxy coat on the line is okay. The bracket, sure, it's okay. But this crimp right here that they do at the factory, they break, and then all the pressure that holds this hose to the center nipple inside of there, that makes it a leak-free connection. It loses that clamp load, and then these things can blow right off when you hit the brakes. You can see if I can get you a little closer. Yeah, I've seen these just blow right off of here, so it can get very dangerous real quick. Another reason to wash your vehicle and maintain it. I mean, look at this. Looks like it was in the bottom of the ocean. So I figure I'd just, show you guys this, give you a little reminder now that it's winter to pay attention to your vehicle and wash it. Take care of it during the winter. Even if you got another snowstorm coming up in 2 days, you you have salt and muck, like especially caught right in here, and it's just sitting there eating away at your vehicle you paid, you know, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 for. So that's all. I'll see you guys next time.